your host, the ConKaiserdor, and old school Avis Hathaway. Pin me, pay me, do your job. Pin me, pay me, do your job. Pin me, pay me, do your job. Pin me, pay me, do your
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour right here on Blog Talk Radio. I am the ConKaiserdor. Join with me is old school Avis Hathaway, and this is our last show of the year 2011. It has been one hell of a ride this year, as man, we've really had some great guests on the show, some great stories, and we look forward to doing it again in 2012. So very exciting times here for the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. And we finish it all off as tonight, our special guest, via satellite from the North Pole, the one and only Kris Kringle, Jolly Old St. Nick, better known as Santa Claus, will be on the show tonight. You don't want to miss it. This is really the last time we'll hear from Santa before he goes on his trek around the world delivering toys to all the good girls and boys. So it's going to be awesome. We look forward to having him on the show. And we got some other great stuff to get to before Santa arrives. Old school Avis Hathaway, bud, what's going on tonight?
Oh, looking forward to our annual holiday extravaganza. Speak with good old Santa Claus, find out who's been naughty and nice. Should be a lot of fun. I always look forward to this show.
Yeah, it should be a great show tonight, guy. And you could really use the holiday cheer. There was quite a lot of fumbles today in your life, guy, and you could really use Santa Claus to cheer you up.
Oh no, there were fumbles. There were fumbles in the Denver Bronco game. Fumbles are plenty, which was unhappy. Made me unhappy. But it's all right. It's all right. The Raiders lost too, so we still control our destiny in the division. So, it was a tough one, but it is what it is.
Well, I want to dedicate this to the Denver Broncos.
Oh, those guys are fast. I got to disagree with you, but hey.
Hey, you know what, guy, listen, if I didn't have the opportunity to talk shit, then, what was the point of doing a radio show together?
It's true, but, it would mean a little bit more if you followed football because, it's kind of hard to talk shit. We really don't follow much football. Now, basketball will be starting soon, so you'll have plenty to talk about.
That's true. The Miami Heat are actually playing an exhibition game against Orlando, guy, today. And last time I got an update, they were winning. And I'm already starting off on the wrong foot, guy, because last time we had Santa Claus on the show, I was on the naughty list and you were on the good list. So I hope this go around Santa doesn't hold this against me.
Well, you never know. I try to always be a good person. Try to always be kind to my fellow man. So I'm hoping, I'm on the good list. I'm hoping for my Red Ryder BB gun this year, so we shall see. But, about the Heat and Magic, I really don't care. I told you I'm on strike this year from basketball, so.
All right, guy, that's fine. But one thing you're not on strike from is the inaugural Brawl debut show of NWA Ring Warriors. Word has it, there was an old-school Avis Hathaway sighting at Ring Warriors.
I just want to compliment you on your seamless segue there. Yes, I was, in fact, at the inaugural Brawl for NWA Ring Warriors this past Wednesday night at the Fort Lauderdale Armory. And, it was a great show. They really came through. We talked about it quite a bit on this show. Hopefully some of our fans, some of our listeners got to check it out, or, maybe if they didn't get to go, they checked out their Facebook and some of the YouTube matches. And, it was a lot of fun. There was a real good mix of, local up-and-coming talent as well as some bigger-name guys. We had DX, X-Pac, and Billy Gunn in the house. Sonny was there, WWE Hall of Famer Sonny. Cassidy Riley, who had a nice run in TNA as well as a little bit of time in WWE. So there was a real good mix of talent there. It was a lot of fun. Everybody put on a great match. One of our favorite guests, Cahagas, he's been on the show a few times now. he put on a great match with Chance Prophet, who is the NWA National Heavyweight Champion. Unfortunately, went to a no contest. Hopefully, they can book a return match for that soon, because that was really the best of the night, I'd say. I see YG Jibber Jabber commenting in the room, the chat room, about Sunny, and Sunny is in person. She's not ugly by any stretch of the imagination, but she does look a little older than you would think in person. At least I thought.
Yeah. I mean, she is getting up there, guy, but still, for her age and stuff, especially she had that one brief stint in her life where, of course, after the death of her husband, it was, I'm sure, extremely rough for her. But she's come, all the way back to where she was before, man. So, kudos to her.
She's a Hall of Famer, and she was there to kind of spark the women's division for NWA Ring Warriors, which as of yet there was no women's division. She brought in one Santana G, who, if you're familiar with South Florida wrestling especially, she's very well known down here. You'll see her in CCW, FOW, all over the place. She's going to be making her debut in NWA Ring Warriors on the January show. I want to say January 18th, I believe it will be. Santana G was there to kind of be the protege of Sunny, and Sunny was very high on her. She said she really thinks that Santana, you may see her in WWE sometime soon, but it was a lot of fun. It was a great show, and the highlight of the night, aside from the wrestling, I want to go ahead and put myself over here, actually my wife. Everybody knows that they were giving away tickets to WrestleMania via a raffle. My wife actually did win the WrestleMania tickets, so, not only did I get to enjoy a great night of wrestling ringside, I got free tickets to WrestleMania.
Well, kudos, guys. Very nice. I'm glad to hear that you guys won something for a change, It's really good to hear, especially WrestleMania tickets, I mean, now you don't have to spend all the money to go to Mania, and then you got the tickets there and stuff like that. So, you never know, guy. I mean, if you wear your Do Your Job Wrestling Hour T-shirt, you might just get backstage access.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I mean, some of the matches were really good. Tommy Vandal defended his FOW heavyweight title. Again, former guest of the show, Tommy Vandal, against Pablo Marquez, and what was a fun match, a very good match. Bruce Santee, we had him on the card. He went over in his match. Who actually put on a real good match was Steve Madison and Wes Briscoe. A lot of people remember Wes Briscoe as he was an up-and-coming talent in FCW, and it didn't click, I guess, at the time, so he was released. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him back at FCW and maybe WWE soon. But him and Steve Madison had a real good match. I really enjoyed. Steve Madison did advance on in the tournament there. He did beat Wes Briscoe, but all in all, it was a great card. The Dark City Fight Club in the main event took on Billy Gunn and X-Pac, and what was a really good match. The Dark City Fight Club did retain their NWA World Heavyweight title belts with a little help from none other than Vordell Walker. So it was announced on the card that, again, I believe it's January 18th. I'll have to double-check that. NWA Ring Warriors will make their return to the Fort Lauderdale Armory in a main event match between the Dark City Fight Club and Vordell Walker. Will be taking on Billy Gunn, X-Pac, and a mystery partner. So that should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and also some hot off the press news, guy. Now this is really hot news. Come January, guy, we are going to have a live interview with the NWA Tag Team Champions, the Dark City Fight Club. So that's going to be something to look forward to. We're working on confirming the exact date, but the marquee, Bruce Santee, will be coming on February 12th. Really excited to have him on, and of course, we're starting with a really, really interesting first show, as from the mosquito-infested sawgrass of the Everglades. Our special guest will be South Florida's Beasley Brody will be on the show. So really, really good stuff. Good stuff from Ring Warriors. I'm sure it was a great show. I did catch a lot of the matches online, so really cool to see that, of course, to be there live and support Ring Warriors. Certainly really good stuff. Old school, man, we got a WWE pay-per-view as well right here in my neck of the woods in Baltimore. We have TLC happening as we speak.
We do. We have tables and ladders and chairs going on live from Baltimore right down the road from the ConKaiserdor. I saw one spoiler for it before. I didn't get to check out all the results so far, so we can kind of give our picks, but I will let the cat out of the bag for anybody that hasn't seen and say we do have a new United States champion.
Woo, 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 Zack Ryder. Now, I got some beef with you guys because on one of our previous shows quite recently, you told me that was not going to happen, and I said it was going to. So,
well, I beg to
you
differ
lose.
a little bit. I beg to differ
here we
a
go.
little bit.
Go
I
ahead.
did not say no. You can listen to the audio. I said I did not say that it was not going to happen. I said it very well might, but what I fear is they won't pull the trigger with Ryder. Now, obviously, they did pull the trigger, and I'm very happy that they did because, I mean, the guy is over. Give him a run with it. See what he can do. You know, Dolph Ziggler doesn't need that belt anymore. Dolph Ziggler is elevating himself to a main event level. He really is. He can talk. He's got the look. He's got the talent in ring. I don't think he really needs that belt. I think he could have a nice little feud with Zack Ryder, and it can really help propel Zack Ryder as well. My fear was that they were going to start a program with Mason Ryan, and obviously it didn't go that route. So I will say that I was wrong in so much as he did get the belt, and I didn't say he would, but I also didn't say he wouldn't. I said I wasn't sure which route they would go with that.
You are not a true broadcast journalist, guy. Bobby Heenan would be really upset with you right now if he knew what was going on.
All you got to do is check the archives to know the truth, bud.
You always pull that check the archives card, guy. Listen, I live the archives. I'm not going to go back and check it, okay? I know what's true, so let's just leave it at that. Because we have also still tag team champions, Air Boom, one of your favorite tag teams.
Oh, yeah, Air Boom, I do. I mean, I like Air Boom. I got nothing against him. I think Evan Bourne is very fun to watch. I think you team him up with Kofi Kingston. It's I like seeing it because it gives the tag team division a little bit of emphasis, and it's two guys that, if they weren't in the tag division doing what they're doing, they probably wouldn't be doing a whole lot right now, so I definitely really don't have a problem with that. I'm glad that they kept the belts. I was a little surprised because they haven't really been, Evan Bourne's been out with suspension, obviously, but they haven't really been featured very much. So I kind of thought that, they might go in a different direction, but hey, Air Boom retains.
Right. It's also like to see, them use Epico and Primo on the pay-per-view, too. Hopefully, they'll continue to push those guys and try to, bring on some more teams for their tag team division. I would like to see the return of Carlito, and possibly even Carlito maybe even heading up his own little stable there.
I would love to see the return of Carlito. I don't know the terms of which he left WWE on. I know he was unhappy there for a while. He was unhappy with how he was being used. I think that he's a great asset. I think Carlito's very good in the ring. He's great on the mic. He's over. I definitely think that could work out well. But, regardless of if they bring him back or not, I think Primo and Epico, it'd be nice to see them get a little bit of a push, and build up that tag division like we've talked about before. Tag team wrestling is a little bit of a lost art in WWE. And, you got Primo and Epico. You're using Air Boom. You got the Usos. You put a couple more tag teams together, legitimate tag teams, and you could really make that division start to matter again.
One thing I'm really looking forward to ask Santa now that I know it happened is, I'm not sure how this would really sit with him. Teddy Long dressed up as Santa, shown decorating a Christmas tree, and he was interrupted by Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle wanted to know if he's been good this year and whatnot. And Hornswoggle received from Teddy Long a Rosetta Stone Ebonics edition to read over and to learn and stuff like that. I'm not too sure how Santa would feel about Teddy Long dressing up as him.
Well, Santa can't be everywhere at once as much as he'd like to be. So, all those gentlemen in the mall that he has help him out, I'm sure he's used to people dressing up as him and trying to help out a little bit. So, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Santa, but I would venture to say he's pretty used to people, using his likeness.
Well, Santa will be on the show very shortly here via satellite from the North Pole. A couple more things real quick with the TLC pay-per-view from Baltimore this evening. There is a tables match, Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton. Now, Oh, man, looks like Orton pulled off the victory there, and which, not surprised, didn't think Barrett would go over, but I think they still got some big plans for Barrett.
Well, I want to bring up, I heard Barrett got busted open pretty good on that match, but I think Barrett should have gone over. I mean, honestly, Randy Orton really stands nothing to gain by going over Barrett, whereas Barrett stands everything to gain by going over Randy Orton. I think it's basic looking. It's no secret that I'm not the hugest Randy Orton fan, honestly. In fact, I really don't particularly like Randy Orton, but hey, a lot of people do. He's very over. But Randy Orton's a guy that he's not really getting anything. It's kind of the same with his feud with Cody Rhodes. He doesn't get anything by going over these guys because he's over enough that they're, quote, guys he's expected to beat. I think it would have gone a lot further for Wade Barrett to win that match, though, with Randy Orton.
Good point, Guy. Well, Rabbit, so one last quick thing before Old St. Nick is on the air with us here is Beth Phoenix, winner and still WWE Divas champion, Guy, as she was victorious over Kelly Kelly.
It just seems like it's the same 4 or 5 divas over and over again, Beth, Natalya, Kelly Kelly, Eve, and to some degree Alicia Fox. I wish they'd come up with something for these women because honestly, it's there's no hype to it. Nobody cares. It's just Natalya or Beth Phoenix randomly versus face diva A, B, or C, and they just can switch the belt back and forth, and there's really no build or no storyline, so I don't think anybody really can care or get into it.
Well, I think also the same thing could be said for TNA. I mean, I think a lot of the companies struggle because there's not as many women wrestlers. They only have a small bit of time to really showcase them on their show. So I'm not really sure what you're looking for.
Well, the thing is, it seems to me, I mean, Alicia Fox really just recently entered into the mix. It seems to me like on Raw for I don't know how many weeks straight, it was a tag diva match between Eve and Kelly and Beth and Natalya. Or one of them, some combination of a singles match with the other one in their corner. There's only so many different ways you can go at it at the same time over and over again, and expect the results to be different, expect people to really care. If you want people to care, go ahead and give them even if it's not much, give them a little bit of a storyline, something to care about.
That's a good point, Guy. Give them a storyline, something important, yes, but I still think they'll struggle with, there'll always be a limited amount of divas in comparison to the amount of, regular male workers that they've got. But, hey, Guy, listen, I'd love to sit here and continue to talk about TLC, but we've got jolly old St. Nick ready to join the show with us, guys. So awesome, because last time we spoke to Santa Claus was last year, which, of course, around Christmas time. But he's back with us here live on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Don't go anywhere. We will return with Santa Claus on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Welcome back to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. After a year hiatus, we have Santa Claus live via satellite from the North Pole. Santa Claus, thanks for being with us this evening.
Merry Christmas, Do Your Job. Ho, ho, ho. It's so wonderful to be back.
Well, we welcome you back. It's great to have you. We know right now is one of your busiest times of the year, if not the busiest, Santa, as, you're ready to make that trek across the world to deliver, toys to all the good boys and girls.
Oh, boys, it is very busy for Santa, but I've stolen away a few minutes in my private office. The elves have been kind enough to bring Santa non-dairy eggnog with a little extra cheer. So it's a wonderful evening to speak with you. Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, great. Well, thanks so much for that. I know Mrs. Claus can be a little she can be a little roughy around this time, as you're trying to really, fatten up and fit into that Santa suit. Well, we got some great questions here for you, Santa. We asked you a lot of questions last year, but this is a whole new year. We've had a lot of great people on the Dear Job Wrestling Hours. As I know, you are a big fan of the show.
I am a big fan of the show, boys. I listen every week. In fact, one of my favorite moments this year was the Dab Savage doing the Saved by the Bell trivia. Oh, it was delightful.
That was a really fun show. We had a good time with that there. I didn't know Santa was a fan of Saved by the Bell.
Oh, boys, even Santa had a crush on Kelly.
Oh, I hope Mrs. Claus isn't listening to the show because she wouldn't want to know that, Santa. Now, I know this is a busy time of the year for you, and I also know you're a big wrestling fan. Looking to see here, Santa, who are some of your favorites this year in the world of wrestling?
Oh, you may be surprised because this boy should probably be on Santa's naughty list. But Santa is a big fan of The Miz.
The Miz? Why The Miz?
The Miz. He is terribly entertaining, boys. He's funny, and I do like his hair.
He does have some interesting hair. He really does. So, well, he's one of your favorites this year. Who's on the naughty list?
Oh, the naughty list. Let me tell you, I wish Velvet Sky was on the naughty list. I'd love to see the things that got her on there.
Again, I hope Mrs. Claus isn't listening. You might be incriminating yourself, Santa.
I think I need the elves to bring me some more eggnog.
Yeah, I think it might need to be a little bit stronger. Now, Santa, who are? I know you like the Saved by the Bell show. Who was your favorite interview beyond the Saved by the Bell show with us this year?
Beyond the Saved by the Bell show, let me think about that for just a moment, boys. Well, any time that Dab's been on has been very entertaining, although that was a naughty boy. Impersonating Lash LaRue. I can't imagine getting into that type of trouble.
That was quite a pickle. Anybody that may not remember, there was the last year around WrestleMania time, the Lash LaRue Dab Savage impersonation controversy, which was quite an interesting show. It led to some good shows between, we had Dab on, we had Lash LaRue on, and luckily we were able to bury the hatchet between those two and kind of get things on the straight and narrow. So that was definitely some interesting shows. Now, Santa, have you made sure your sleigh is all ready to go? I mean, obviously you have your global trek coming up here. We want to make sure that you're safe to deliver the presents to all the boys and girls. Are all systems a go?
I have the top elves running through the last-minute tests to make sure we are ready and raring to go. And the reindeer are being fed special feed to make them extra lighter and extra faster.
Wow. Now, are you still running with the same reindeer you ran with last year?
Oh, no, boys. We always use the same 9. That's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and Rudolph.
Good. I just wanted to make sure there was going to be no changes now. I heard, though, there could have been a few changes, though, to the elves. Who are your elves this year helping you out?
Well, that's funny, boys. I have several elves. I have little Chandler and little Kip. There's also little Hickenbottom, little Paul, little Mark. There are so many elves, boys. Sometimes it's difficult to keep track of them all.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean,
they breathe like rabbits.
I can imagine. I mean, you have so many elves, and it's busy in the North Pole. People don't realize, how busy it really is. Have you done any type of vacation this year, Santa? Have you gone anywhere? Or have you been in the North Pole all year?
Oh no, boys! Santa made it down to Florida. In fact, I considered looking up Avis while I was there.
I wish you had. I wish you had, Santa.
Oh, I spent all my time at the beach, boys. That's where the girls are.
Well, that's good, Santa. I mean, just like we said, I hope Mrs. Claus isn't listening tonight because you're kind of incriminating yourself, Santa. I remember speaking to you last season. It sounded like things are going well with you and Mrs. Claus. Are things kind of downslope right now?
Oh, no, boys, no, boys. Just a little spice in the old relationship. It has been several hundred years, you know.
That's true. Now, Santa, I have some other questions I want to get to here. Some more traditional, pop culture questions there for you. I'm curious to know, have you changed at all on what your favorite song is around Christmas time?
Oh, the song you played as my intro, boys, is one of my all-time favorites. In fact, it may be my very favorite song right now. Hooray for Santa Claus!
That is your theme song. It really is. It speaks right to you. Now, one question I'm curious to know is last year we asked you what your favorite movie was around Christmas time. You said the original Miracle on 34th Street, which I'm wondering now, what is your favorite holiday slasher flick?
Oh, Santa stays away from those, young man. Those are very bad indeed. But if you push me, I'll say Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Now, Santa, I got a question for you. On my TV, I have AT&T Uverse. I noticed that they've added a new feature called the Santa Tracker, where little boys and girls can track you on Christmas Eve all around your travels. I'm sure other services have this as well. How do you feel about this GPS global positioning, the tracking of Santa every year?
Oh, Santa doesn't mind at all. In fact, boys, I think it's very useful. That way, children know when they need to be snug in their beds with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads so that they're all sleepy-eyed when I arrive.
That actually brings up a good follow-up I want to ask you. You go down the chimney to all these little boys and girls' houses. How often do you find that people have messed up and left their fireplace going when you try to get down there?
Oh, that happens occasionally, Avis. But Santa has magic on his side. Santa can snuff out those fires and relight them as he leaves.
Very good, very good. Let me ask you this question, Santa. Now, I know that you're used to getting cookies from the little boys and girls. Are you still on the cookie kick with sprinkles?
Oh, I love cookies with sprinkles. Yes, boys, yes.
Now, what about tea? Are you still drinking tea, or have you switched to Sanka?
Oh, no, tea is delicious. A nice black tea, a hearty black tea, and orange spice, those are delightful.
What about chamomile? Have you ever had some chamomile?
Chamomile makes me a little sleepy.
Well, we definitely don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Not on the most magical night of the year, no, sir.
Oh, exactly. We are live tonight here with the jolly old St. Nick Santa Claus on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. If you want to call in and find out if you're on Santa's naughty or nice list, you can call in 714-694-4101. Also jump into the chat room, as we'll take your questions there as well. So, Santa Claus, you're really well known throughout the world, of course. I mean, everybody knows you, all different cultures and stuff like that. Is there a certain place in the world that you enjoy going to the most come Christmas Eve?
I'm very fond, and not to sound in any way political, but I'm very fond of the Western countries, America, Great Britain. They really do seem to appreciate me more than, say, Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I'm sure. Now, do some other countries have another version of Santa Claus, or are you it?
I do have some assistance in some countries, boys. The Krampus follows me around in Eastern Europe and punishes the bad children. Black Peter assists me in some parts of the world as well. Some parts of the world refer to me as Father Christmas, but it is always Santa.
Now, Santa, you bring up a good point. Your world travels. With so much political unrest in the world, there are no-fly zones all over the place. Do you ever find yourself getting in any trouble with those? Turn around and you find some fighter jets on your back, anything like that?
We have had a few close calls, yes, sir. Yeah, that's terrible when it happens, but we've always managed to just evade and fly under the radar when that happens, and we sneak away. Sometimes I have to do a quick vertical uplift and let the reindeer let loose and shatter their windshields of the planes with ear dung.
You can always just hit the brakes and let them fly right by.
Exactly.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, we're going to take a quick break here, Santa, as we're going to play one of your favorite jingles here. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Santa Claus on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour on Blog Talk Radio.
Let's go fresh. Santa's enchanted forest. Come to see the lights of the wonderful. Santa's enchanted forest. Games, food, shows, nativity. Santa's enchanted forest. Never you'll forget the experience of Santa's enchanted forest. At Tropical Park on Palmetto and Berg Road. Santa's enchanted forest. One ticket, all rights free. Santa's.
Welcome back to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour right here on Blog Talk Radio. I'm the ConKaiserdor, alongside me, old school Avis Hathaway, and we are joined tonight by our very, very, very special guest, Santa Claus. Now, Santa Claus, have you ever made it out to Santa's Enchanted Forest in Miami, Florida?
Oh, yes, boys, I have on more than one occasion.
And let me ask you this, what do you find to be more appealing, the song or the actual park itself?
Oh, boys, the song, obviously.
Well, you know, the
the
song
park is
is
a little bit of a disappointment.
That's true. That's true. I have been there before, and it's. I think the jingle is a little bit better, but you know, it's kind of disappointing, Santa, because they don't use it anymore.
They're not using my jingle?
No, they're not. They're using something else now.
That's terrible. I hadn't heard.
If I can cut in, they actually do still use that jingle at times. I heard it on the radio just 2 days ago.
Oh. Well.
Oh, thank you, Avis. That settled my heart.
Sorry for misleading you, Santa. I guess I was misinformed.
Somebody's itching to get back on the naughty list.
Oh, Santa, listen, I'm trying really hard to be a good boy. I started working out more often, started eating my vegetables more often, and I think I've been a much better boy than I was last year.
Oh, ConKaiserdor, you are taking steps in the right direction, son. But let me tell you one thing, from Santa to you. Try harder.
I'll try. I really will. Let me ask you this, Santa. Obviously, you know, you're a fan of wrestling. Are you a fan of other sports as well, such as maybe basketball or football?
Santa's more of a traditionalist, boys. He prefers baseball and sometimes soccer. Not so much the football.
Well, soccer in some countries is called football.
Correct. Oh, you are a smart one sometimes.
Well, thank you, Santa. I take that as a compliment there. Let me kind of ask you this question here, because you know you spend a lot of time off of the North Pole. Now, is the North Pole really as cold as it seems to be?
Oh, boys, I think I told you this last year. It is cold enough to freeze your Winnebago.
Nice. Well, you know, you see a lot of movies and stuff that depict the North Pole as this freezing place, and who else better to know how it really is than you?
Exactly. Me and maybe Jack Frost.
Oh, Jack Frost. Now, is this Jack Frost is a snowman, right?
No, son. Jack Frost is a magical imp that controls the snow. Frosty is the snowman. Son, I think I have to take away points.
I didn't know this was a game, Santa. I was just, you know, I guess I wasn't sure. So Frosty is a snowman then.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, who's a better snowman? Is it Frosty or is it Sam from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Let me think. I think I prefer Sam. He sounds a lot like Burl Ives.
That is Burl Ives, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's really my favorite snowman as well. You know, what are your feelings on some of the other holidays? I know we talked last year about your feelings on Kwanzaa, but I kind of want to get back to that.
That's a made-up holiday, son.
Right, you said it's a made-up holiday. So what are your thoughts on Hanukkah?
I tolerate it. The Jewish children, the Jewish children don't usually believe in me. Some of them do, and I do appreciate their faith. But those that don't get coal and a switch.
Do you know or have any relations with Hanukkah Harry?
We have bumped elbows at the annual mythological figure convention.
Really? That's pretty cool.
He seems like a nice enough man, but a little bit of a tightwad.
Ooh, well, let me ask you this question now. What if Hanukkah was spelled with a silent J?
Oh, I think it's a C, isn't it? Or is it an H? Who knows? Maybe it is a silent J.
You talked about the mythical people gathering. Do you ever spend any time outside of that with, say the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy or anybody like that?
We all get together once or twice a year for these conventions, and we discuss our plans for the year and how children are reacting to us and whether people are still believing or not.
Well,
so far, I've got the edge.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, it's not much Christmas without Santa. It's not the holiday season.
Yes, but sadly, that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did a terrible number for the Tooth Fairy.
He did. I didn't see that movie, but I can only imagine. That brings up a good point, Santa. Are you excited for WrestleMania this year?
Oh, Santa is very excited for WrestleMania. And do you know why?
Why is that?
That little boy that sat on my lap years ago, little Mark, he'll be back. You know he will. The Undertaker. Well, that actually leads me to another question, Santa, another wrestling question. Have you seen, I know you try to watch Raw as much as you can, have you seen these promos, these control promos happening on wrestling? Oh, yes, I have. I'm very curious to see what that is. I was wondering if you had any inside information. I'm leaning towards it being the return of The Undertaker, but some people seem to think it might be Chris Jericho. Oh, Santa's hoping it's Chris Jericho. Then again, Santa's hoping it's The Undertaker. Maybe it's Santa Jericho Taker. Oh, I need more eggnog. In a lot of ways, I remember last year they did the same kind of thing with the Undertaker promos, the 2-11-11, whatever it was. I don't remember exactly. And everyone thought it was Sting, and it wasn't. What a disappointment that was. It was, and I think I'd be a little bit disappointed if it's The Undertaker again, but sadly I think that's the way it's going to go.
Now, Santa, let me ask you a question here. And first, are you sitting down?
I'm not, but I could be. I was pacing my office. Hold on. Let me settle these old bones. Okay, boys, go ahead.
Okay. I'm curious to know, what is Old School getting for Christmas this year?
I've thought about that long and hard, son. Avis?
Yes.
Last year, all you wanted was the Red Ryder BB gun.
It's true.
And my elves made a terrible mistake and forgot to pack it for you.
I wondered what happened.
I hope you do like what I gave you, but this year I promise you will get that BB gun. Just don't shoot your eye out.
I can't wait. I'm very excited now.
Old School, he's not been good this year, Santa. I don't think he deserves anything really except some coal.
Oh, that's not true at all.
Thank you, Santa. I think the ConKaiserdor trying to call me out and sabotage my Christmas, that sounds pretty naughty to me.
It is, and like I said before, ConKaiserdor, try harder.
Well, Santa, speaking of who's on the good list, what am I getting this year?
You'd have to make the good list first, son.
Really? Santa, it's funny because, when you come on the air, you have really nasty things to say about me, but when we were talking, about you coming back on the show, you did nothing but praise me and say, ConKaiserdor was your favorite host on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour.
Well, ConKaiserdor, how about this? I'll bring you a pet stain cleaner.
I already have one of those. Santa. I don't need another one, thanks. One's plenty to clean up cat puke, trust me.
You know what? Actually, Santa, that brings up a question I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry to cut in here, but talking about pet waste, I've always kind of wondered, what happens when the reindeer need to go to the bathroom when you're midair? Because I would imagine the waste falling from the sky at that distance could be quite a hazard to people on the ground.
We don't talk about that, son.
You have some sort of a system?
Santa is not responsible for falling objects. My lawyer drafted up a letter letting me out of any sort of situation involving falling reindeer droppings.
Fair enough.
Wow. Yeah, fair enough, Santa. Now, Santa, we've had a lot of really awesome guests on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour this year, and we started back in September of 2010. We celebrated our 1-year anniversary, which was absolutely awesome to know that, we've done this show for a year, and we've also celebrated our 50th episode as we had Vito DiNucci on that show, and, man, we've really come so far, and 2012 does look as bright as a star in the sky, I got to say, so we're really excited for 2012 to start. What we're going to do now is we're going to take just a little break here, and we're going to play a 2011 drop medley of all the drops from this year, besides a couple. One we're going to play later on, but there's some others that, some production errors that have occurred. But we're going to play a drop medley for 2011, and we do want to thank every single guest we've had on this show, past guests, future guests. Thanks so much for being with us. Without our guests, without our listeners as well, we wouldn't really have the show. So thank you so much. We're going to take a break here, but don't go anywhere. You are listening live to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour right here on Blog Talk Radio.
What's up, Rebel Rockers? You are listening to Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. This is Ryan Howe. I'm rocking the show, and you better stay tuned and don't call me Skidmark.
Hey, everybody, this is Gilbert, and you're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. You better listen to it, baby, or else I'm going to be at your house getting you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the superstar soul, Bobby Sanford. It's getting out of control. You're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Don't stop. Get it, get it.
This is Fidel Sierra, legendary Speedman of Staff, and you got to listen to Do Your Job Wrestling, the best in wrestling has to offer.
And this fantasy, the First Lady of Professional Wrestling, and Do Your Job Wrestling is the way to go.
This is Mikhail Ivanov.
This is Elizabeth Chipko.
And we are the Red Devils Fight Team, Krasnaya Post-Pražeca Brigada. And you're listening to the best Blog Talk Wrestling radio show on the internet. The Do Your Job radio show.
This is Craig Classic, the real World Junior Heavyweight Champion, and you're listening to Do the Job Radio.
This is Blix, the MCW Champion, and you are listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour on Blog Talk Radio.
This is Tokyo Monster Kahagas, and you're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour.
This is Calypso, and I'm telling you, you better listen to the best wrestling radio show, the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. You hear me? All right, now.
This is Tommy Vandal. You're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour, the only wrestling show the TV unit listens to.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all Do Your Job listeners, I just want you to know that you've had the pleasure of being graced with the YouTube sensation, the Ladies' Temptation, 217 pounds of rock-hard steel and sex appeal, Dab Savage, baby.
Hey, this is Shark Boy, and you're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Hell yeah.
This is the Raging Cajun, Lash LaRue, former WCW superstar, and you should do the job because I'm doing the job right here on the Do Your J.O.B. Job Wrestling Hour with a little SLF on roulette. Let the good times roll.
Listen up, wrestling fans. This is the hardcore chair swinging freak, the ECW original Axel Rotten, and you're listening to the most extreme, most hardcore hour of professional wrestling news on the internet. That's the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Keep it extreme.
This is Milito Finger, and you're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour online radio.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jessie K, and you're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Enjoy, please, and thank you.
Hi, this is Pete Gass, and you're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. And you got to remember one thing every single day.
This is Maximum Capacity, the world's largest athlete, the king of all bowel movements. And you're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour.
Hey, this is Angel Orsini. How you doing? Yo, check out the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour Sundays at 9 p.m. with the ConKaiserdor and Old School Avis Hathaway. See ya!
Hello, wrestling fans. This is former WCW superstar Glacier, and you're tuning in to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. So stay tuned for blood runs cold on you.
Hey, this is Vito DiNucci from the Heavenly Bodies, three-time NWA World Tag Team Champion and the current CEO and czar of talent in general for NWA Ring Warriors. Make sure every Sunday night you're tuning in to check out the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. If you don't, you're the jobber.
And if you didn't understand that, that was Frightmare from Chicago telling you that Green Ant and Frightmare fully endorse the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. So stay tuned for more great interviews right now.
Welcome back to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour right here on Blog Talk Radio. I'm the ConKaiserdor. Alongside me, Old School Avis Hathaway. We are joined tonight by our special guest, Jolly Old St. Nick, Santa Claus. It's been a great show so far and truly a great year here for us, as you heard many of the drops here. Like I said, not all are included in that. A couple that we had not included because of some production issues. Lanny Poffo, The Genius, C.W. Anderson, and original recipe Matt Cage. But hey, you know what? Awesome stuff. We thank every guest for being on the show this year, as without them, we wouldn't really have the show. So thanks so much there. And, we're back. We're back and live here. Santa Claus, how you holding up there, buddy?
Oh, boys, I am on my fourth cup of eggnog. It is delicious.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're still kicking it around with us here, because we have a question out of the chat room here from a Y2 Jibber Jabber. Now, he tends to ask a question to all the guests, the same type question. He wants to know if you can share a good rib story or some type of story from all of your travels around the world.
Well, boys, let me tell you what just happened in the workshop about 2 weeks ago. Little Chaz, one of the elves in the workshop, pardon the pun, was getting too big for his britches. So we had to knock him down a peg. So the first day, I walked up to him and I said, Chaz, your clothes look a little big for you. And about a week later, I walked up to him and I said, Chaz, did you notice how much little Kip is growing? He's bigger than you. Not true at all. But the piece de resistance was when we moved all of the coat hooks in the workshop about a foot higher on the wall. We convinced little Chaz he was going shorter.
That was a great story, Santa. Yeah, that was really good, and I'm sure there's probably tons of stories that you have there, but you spend a lot of times with the elves, so it makes sense that would be one of your great tales.
Oh, that just happened to be the most recent one, boys. I'll save more for my next visit.
Absolutely. As we hope to have you on again next year as well, as Christmas time does come but once a year, and you can't have a Christmas show without jolly old St. Nick on the show. So to promote any future appearances for you, Santa, on the show, as you heard, we had a drop medley of all of our a lot of our previous guests. We would like to ask you, as this was a mistake of the producer last go-around, you were not asked to do a drop for the show. My apologies. However, this year we'd like to get a drop on tape for you so we can play on future episodes. So would you mind, Santa, doing a drop tonight for the show?
Oh, well, certainly, boys. Give Santa 1 minute. Let me think. Oh, I think I've got one, and I think you boys will like it. Ho, ho, ho! This is the naughty list teasing, nice list pleasing, man of the season, the one and only Santa Claus. I know when you've been sleeping, I know when you've been awake, but for the life of me, I can't predict Cena's heel turn. You're listening to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Ho, 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 ho!
That was great, Santa. Thank you so much for doing that drop there for us, and I'm sure all the future listeners and current listeners will enjoy that drop and adding that to the many that we already have.
Oh, I certainly hope so, boys.
Old School, do you share the same feelings?
I think that was a great drop, yes, and I think, because sometimes around, August or, July, June, the summer months, people may forget about Santa and they may forget what it takes to stay on the nice list and not end up on the naughty list. So that might be a nice reminder for people that, it's a year-long process to stay on the nice list.
Why, that's a very pleasant thought, Avis. That's why you're always on my nice list.
Well, I do appreciate
it.
Santa, I did have one more question from you. I heard a rumor, and hopefully you can shed some light on this if there's any truth. I heard a rumor that the elves of the North Pole were thinking about unionizing. Is there any truth to that? And if so, what are your thoughts about that?
Santa has heard some rumblings, but right now Santa's more concerned with the professional wrestling community stealing my elves. Why, have you seen that Micro Wrestling Federation? It's terrible. All of those elves should be working, putting together toys for the boys and girls, not gallivanting in bars and wrestling in rings.
We had Blix, the MCW heavyweight champion, I guess is a stretch, but the MCW champion on our show, and he seemed like a real good guy, but I don't know how happy he would be to be working in a workshop.
Around the workshop, we refer to him as he whose name shall not be spoken.
I apologize.
Santa, listen, I think there's a side of you that's starting to come out that we didn't get to last go around. I'm not sure if this is the spiked eggnog talking or if this is the new you.
Spiked? Did you say spiked? My elves would never do such a thing to me.
Well, you never know, Santa, especially with all that, Zack Ryder spiking his hair business. I'm not sure if you got confused and spiked your eggnog instead.
Oh, Zack Ryder, the Long Island I see.
You're a fan?
Mrs. Claus I was going to say Mrs. Claus may have spiked it with what with your wandering eyes,
Oh, that is a very good thought. I must keep my eye on that woman.
Santa, I think for interrupting me, Old School needs to go on the naughty list.
You just keep trying.
ConKaiserdor, he still doesn't have as many naughty points as you.
Oh, God. Well, you know what, Santa? I'm at the point where I might just rub elbows with Hanukkah Harry. I mean, technically, Old School is more of the Menorah Mike, who I'm not sure if you met during that festival, but that's one of his close friends.
I don't even know what that means.
What? You know Menorah Mike. Santa, tell him about Menorah Mike.
I don't know what that means.
I've never heard of him. I know of Hanukkah Harry, but I've never heard of Menorah Mike.
You don't know Menorah Mike Goldstein?
I think ConKaiserdor's making things up.
I think he is drifting into the meetup holidays again. Yes, sir.
Santa, I have a story that I want to tell you. Now, there was a time when I lived in South Florida, and I stopped by Old School's house a few times there. And on his refrigerator was a menorah magnet, and inside his garage was an actual menorah, which tells me that he does look up to Menorah Mike Goldstein as his version of Santa Claus.
Well, actually, if I may clarify one thing, the menorah magnet was from a funeral home from a funeral I attended. So it was not exactly a, hey, look, here's a menorah for, fun times.
Santa, do you believe him?
Oh, yes, son, I do. I do.
Oh,
How could you not trust a face like Avis's?
Thank you, Santa.
Are you serious?
Santa, I will make sure
like
to leave out extra. I will leave out extra sprinkled cookies for you this year, Santa.
Oh, you are my favorite boy on the show.
Santa, I'm going to empty out what's ever in that vomit cleaner and leave it for you at this rate. I'm so disappointed in you.
You're never going to make the nice list like that.
Oh. You're getting tongue-tied, Santa, because you're right. I am going to be making the nice list this year because I am the nice one. I am the ConKaiserdor. Old school Avis Hathaway is going to get nothing but a lump of poo.
Like I said before, son, try harder.
ConKaiserdor, if you have to really sit here and try to convince people you're nice, that's kind of counterproductive to your point. If you have to convince people that you're nice, obviously you're not very nice. Being
Santa,
nice speaks for itself.
Santa, speaking of things that are shitty, what is Tim Tebow getting for Christmas this year?
I was going to bring him a nice plastic Jesus for his front yard.
You know what he's actually getting, ConKaiserdor? Can I tell you what he's getting? An AFC West championship. That's what he's getting, an AFC West championship.
Nobody cares. I don't care. Santa doesn't care, and it's just that simple.
Well, you brought him up, so I figured I'd go ahead and put him in his place. Maybe what he'll get is an NBA championship ring like LeBron had. Oh, wait.
Oh, really? Is that where you're going to go, guy? Well, you just wait, because come 2012, I will be uploading all the Heat songs you've come to know and love that are heard right here on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour.
Can't wait.
Santa, are the Miami Heat going to win the championship this year?
I don't think so, son.
You know what, Santa? I'm on my last nerve with you. Last year you were quite pleasant, and you started off to be in really good spirits. But everything I say and do, you make it seem like I'm this really bad person.
Not at all, son. I'm not making you a bad person. You are.
Santa always has your number. Santa has your number.
All right, listen, guys. We're going to take a last break here. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up here with jolly old St. Nick on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Well. It is I, the lyrical miracle, the sexual intellectual, and the quintessential stud muffin, Joel. I once was with this girl. She really knew how to slob the knob. So I asked her to get on her knees, and she continued to do her job. Gertner, and you're listening to Do Your Job Radio. So do that, J.O.B, and keep listening and have yourself an eargasm.
Welcome back to the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour right here on Blog Talk Radio. I'm the ConKaiserdor alongside me, old school Avis Hathaway. We are joined tonight live by jolly old St. Nick, Santa Claus. Santa, what'd you think of that drop?
Oh, that boy has a potty mouth. He's on the naughty list.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. So, Santa, we're nearing the end of our interview here. Anything else you wanted to plug before we wrap up?
Boys, in just a few nights, I'll be making my annual world tour. I'll be going all around the globe visiting the good girls and boys. I want everyone to be snug in their beds with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads. And remember, be good.
Santa, we really thank you for taking the time. We know you're super busy this time of year, so thanks again for joining us. Do you have a Twitter or a Facebook or anything like that?
Oh, boys, Santa is everywhere. All you have to do is believe.
That's true.
Well, thank you very much.
Old school, you should have already known that guy. I mean, come on. You think really Santa's checking Twitter and Facebook?
Hey, it's the 21st century, guy. You never know.
Yeah, but he's like over 200 years old. He's got other things to do, like supervise the elves.
Well, the elves are usually the ones that have the online presence.
Oh, okay. See, old school, you got to ask better questions, guy. You know, the elves are online.
That's a very naughty way to speak to me.
Well, that's fine. I've come to realize that I will be on the naughty list yet again this year. But Santa, I do have high hopes for being good all next year.
I'm sure you will be, son. I'm sure you will. Now, may Santa leave you with just one final thought. Boys, in the words of British rapper Dizzy Rascal, spare a thought this Yuletide for the deprived. If the tables was turned, would you survive? You ain't got to feel guilt, just selfless. Give a little help to the helpless.
That's very nice of you, Santa, to share such nice lyrics with us here. As, you know, that's something that everyone should do. Old school, man, you know, I can use a new pair of Nikes, guy.
Look, just because Santa's not bringing in anything, don't expect me to pick up the slack. You need to be a nicer boy. You'll get what you ask for.
Oh, God, this is really going nowhere, guy. You know, you owe me. You owe me big because I've done so much for you this year. Santa, you know what? You might have decided to put me on the naughty list and old school on the good list yet again. But remember this. Come 2012, it'll be the ConKaiserdor's year.
I certainly hope so, son. I would love to see you move from one list to the other. But it hasn't happened in how many years? I wouldn't hold my breath.
Well, good. I certainly hope not. So, real quick, don't forget to tune in as we will be on winter break for the next few weeks, but we'll be back come January 15th with Beastly Brody right here on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. And it's possible. It is possible. So far, old school Santa, just a rumor that he may be bringing somebody with him, somebody from the past. So we'll see what happens there come January 15th. That should be a great show. And then we're also in talks with the Dark City Fight Club, NWA Tag Team Champions, who successfully defended their titles against Kip James, better known as Billy Gunn, and X-Pac. So they'll be coming on the show also sometime in January. And then February 12th, we will have the marquee Bruce Santee, and also a really, really talented Florida wrestler will be coming on the show. We're very excited to have him on. And, of course, we'll be bringing you even more great interviews come 2012. So for old school Avis Hathaway, Santa Claus, and myself, the ConKaiserdor, we say goodnight, and we thank you all for tuning in. It's been a great year, and we'll see you next year right here on the Do Your Job Wrestling Hour. Good night, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.